It's been a whirlwind in a lot of good ways, you know, good and bad. Obviously, my heart goes out to everybody that has been vastly affected by this pandemic and by these circumstances. I know it pretty much flipped everybody's world upside down. Nobody saw this coming, but the thing with me that was so special, and I say it's special because I look at it as a blessing. I got into a near-death car accident, my second one, right before the pandemic happened. So it was February 7th it happened. And there was already talks of, you know, the pandemic and different conversations in 2020 around February, but it hadn't got that serious. So I had maybe a week or two where I sat back and recovered. I needed to really sit down longer, but I'm like, I got to be on the grind. I got to get out here. I got to do this. I got to do that. So in those 2 weeks that I sat down, I remember being like, dang, I'm missing out. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And it just seemed like right when I thought I was missing out, events began to get canceled left and right because of the restrictions of the pandemic, you know? So the way I look at it is I got some time to reflect and sit back and really say, you know what? Wait a minute. You know, this is me being still before the whole world was still. So when it came to that point of stillness for everybody, I was actually moving around. I was in the studio locking in. I had a whole freestyle series I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I was dropping freestyles every week. I mean, I was just putting content out. I did kind of like a, short film, so to speak, kind of like about the quarantine a little bit and about the whole pandemic with a rap attached to it. So, I mean, you know, I really... you know, also with the protests and everything. I mean, it just was a lot, King. You know, so this pandemic, again, like I said, it's had its ups and downs, but it's still been a blessing in disguise. Yeah, King, absolutely. And, you know, when you speak about me being unconscious, that was actually the first car accident that I got in 2011. So the car accident with the footage was the one that happened February 7th, 2020. But I mean, going through both car accidents, obviously the first one being more severe, you know, me being unconscious for those 4 days and having to rehabilitate for 9 months, it was challenging. I was depressed. It was really the first time I really felt like, you know, dang, life has knocked me down. I mean, I've been through a lot of challenging things, as we all have, you know what I'm saying? But I felt like that moment right there, I said, I didn't really know how I would come back from it. You know what I mean? I was grateful to be alive, but I still was just like, well, you know, why me? You have the questions. And then as I began to marinate on everything and just began to tap in with people like my mom and, you know, just my elders, you know, and just seek counsel from up above, I began to just have more gratitude for the situation and say, you know what? I was supposed to go through that because now I need to add that to my music. Now I need to add that to my testimony. Now that needs to be a part of my story. You see what I'm saying? I didn't go through that just for me to go through that and keep it inside. Oh, I went through that. Now I'm going to keep it to myself. No, I went through that so I could tell the world, hey, this is what I went through. So no matter what you're going through, you can get through it because look at what I went through. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it, King. But yeah, I mean, I feel like now people have, you know, in a so, you know, type of crazy way, this pandemic has brought people closer together. You know, it did give people a chance to sit still. People that were used to just moving all the time, you know what I mean? Having those distractions around them at all times, they got a second to reflect. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like, King, it definitely has brought people together.